Hey everybody, it's Marshmallow here. It's my Adventures in Babysitting movie review. Yes, that is right. I saw the movie early. I got to see it almost a week early. I watched it Friday, so I guess that is a week early, but I didn't technically finish it till Sunday because I did an all-nighter. I checked my phone early, and Disney Channel had it on there. So I did an all-nighter and watched the whole movie. Loved it, so I'm going to be doing my review about it. And I do want to make some points about old Disney and new Disney. I'm thinking about doing a video about that, about old Disney and new Disney, because a lot of people do have a debate over which is better, because while new Disney does have great things to offer, it is not as good as old Disney is, and I think that everyone can agree on that. But there are new fans of Disney Channel, there are fans of the shows and movies that they have on now that would totally disagree with all of us people that experienced old Disney. So I'm going to be making a few points about that, but I'm not going to make it the entire video about that. So just keep in mind, this is all here. And by the way, this is a spoiler review. I'm going to be doing spoilers early. So yeah, it's going to be a little spoilery. If you have seen the movie already, because there's a ton of people that have, then don't forget to keep watching, duh. And if you haven't seen the movie, wait till Friday and come back to this video and watch it, because we're going to be talking all about this craziness. So are you guys ready? Alright, so spoilers, you have been warned. I'm going to give you a few moments to click away, and let us get into this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This movie is great. There is some great things about this movie, but there's also some things I did not like about this movie. I mean, obviously, there are movies that you have great things and things that you don't like about it. You know, there's, for example, Finding Dory. I thought that it was a little rushed in some places, but it was just not that bad, and everything was pretty good in that movie. And then also, like, in other, Alice the Looking Glass, that movie has so many problems. So there's movies where you have great things, and there's movies where you have bad things. And this movie has that. There's great things about this movie, and there's some things that aren't great about this movie, but are still enjoyable. Like I said, Alice the Looking Glass is still enjoyable to watch. Finding Dory, totally enjoyable. That movie's great. So we're just going to go through everything about this movie and talk about what I did like and what I didn't like. So right off the bat, I had already seen the 10 minutes of the movie before I actually watched the whole movie, because they released it on YouTube. So everybody pretty much already saw the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then I got into the rest of the movie and I was like, yeah, it's going to be good. This movie stars Sabrina Carpenter and Sofia Carson, two of Disney's stars right now. Like, they're blowing up Disney right now. Like, they are so huge. Sabrina Carpenter is obviously in Girl Meets World Season 3. Her music is tearing up Radio Disney to shreds because it's amazing. And then Sofia Carson is basically the next big thing. Like, seriously, she's really literally up for the reward, or I guess the award, for next big thing. So they are two of the biggest stars right now for Disney Channel. They're using them to their advantage in this movie. They are so good. I love them both in this movie. Like, they're so good. Sabrina Carpenter plays Jenny. Now, this movie is a remake. I don't know about the old movie. I've never seen it before. I don't even know what it's, I don't know anybody that's in the movie or who directed it. I don't know anything about that old movie, but I do know a lot about this one. But I don't know about the remake. So there might have been the Jenny character there, too, and they might have flipped her over to this movie. But anyway, Sabrina Carpenter plays Jenny. Sofia Carson plays Lola. Jenny is obviously, like, the, uptight, responsible girl. She's the responsible babysitter. She skipped 8th grade. She's on her way to college admissions and all that stuff. So that's, going along as well. And then we have Lola, who's pretty much carefree. I mean, she's still kind of, she's still serious about art and stuff like that, but she's pretty much carefree at this point. And it's really interesting to see both of them kind of, battle each other throughout the movie, and it's really nice to see their characters kind of connect that way by the end of the movie, which we'll get to in a second. But it was interesting to see both of them going up for that same art internship, and switching their phones. Switching their phones was so cool. And then, of course, Lola, pretends to be Jenny, gets the babysitting gig. Fast forward a little bit to where all the kids are together, and Lola, it's already off to a horrible start. Like, there's a little bit of a fire, the laundry, like, who just pours laundry? Who just pours laundry soap? I have no idea. Trey sneaking out. There's all of this stuff is going crazy, right? And the other kids, the little girl, I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name. I try to remember all their names. But she stole her mom's diamond earrings and started to wear them around the city. Emily, I do know her name, dyed her hair green. So everything's just going crazy right now, and it just adds to the chaos. And I think that it's really fun because it is an adventure. You feel like you're on this adventure with them as they go throughout the city. They take their mom's fancy car, they take that into the city. They find Trey, let's fast forward a little bit more. They find Trey, finally, and they get him into the gang, but they're being chased by these bad guys because they were led to the pawn shop. Now, this is where it gets a little bad. It's not totally bad, but it gets a little both of those guys from the pawn shop, Tiny and the Hood guy, or whatever his name was, they're really irrelevant at this point. Like, when I heard about the Sapphire Ferret and the trailers and all that stuff, I was like, okay, there's going to be some kind of twist to it or something. Like, they're going to meet up and find out about this ferret or something. I don't know, who knows? But it's going to make sense, right? It's kind of irrelevant. I understand that they want to get the picture back because it's a rare sapphire thing, ferret, and they will get in total trouble if they have it. But it's like, they're really just chasing them, and they just want to write that in. Like, the writers probably put that in there to add to the effect, because I'm not sure if that was in the original movie or not. But maybe it was. I have no idea. But they just want to really add that to the chaos of the effect, and it just really just feels like an add-on. It doesn't feel like something that ties into the story really well. It just feels like they're there to make more chaos. Because if you think about it, the places that they went to, like the club, the karaoke club, where they rap, the battle and all that stuff, all of those different places, they got to that place because they were being chased, right? So if they weren't being chased by those two guys, they probably wouldn't have ended up in some of those places that were in the movie. So that's what I think about that. It just feels like an add-on. It doesn't feel really relevant and tying into the story. Another thing that doesn't really feel relevant is Zach. I don't know if Zach, again, I don't know anything about the original movie, but I don't know if Zach was in that movie, but here, he also feels like an add-on. I mean, I get by the end of the story, he helps get everybody back to the places when they were cleaning up and stuff. He helped out, and everything kind of went better, and now she is dating Zach, right? But it just kind of felt like one of those Disney Channel, gotta have those love interest guy things, you know what I mean? So just another thing that I just didn't really think that was relevant in the story till, like, at the end, because I was like, okay, why do we need him? Because we could have had this whole adventure and had even more screen time for somebody else, like some of the other characters, without Zach. Like, cut out all the Zach parts, right? And then it, like, makes the movie, like, it gives more time for the city parts, right? I feel like that would have made sense. But, I don't know, it makes sense with Lola and Jenny getting along by the end. She's like, oh, no wonder that guy wanted to ask you out. And she's like, wait, what? And they get her there. So I feel like that made sense, right? But the first part with Zach and introducing him was just like, I don't know. And then it was also awkward because you see Sabrina Carpenter driving and you're like, she doesn't even look like she can drive. And then you see Zach, and it's like, Kevin Quinn, you make more sense with Peyton List and Bunked. Like, it's like, seriously. I don't know about that. That was another thing that I didn't feel like really particularly great about it, but I felt like it was okay. It didn't really affect the movie that much, but that's just my opinion. I'm really just nitpicking those two things, is the pawn shop guys, and Zach. So that's really just my nitpicks, but I feel like it did bring down the movie quite a bit in its, standard level. But it was so fun. This movie, fun. This is a fun movie that you can watch with your family, because we're going to get to the Disney points now. Old Disney. I feel like old Disney is better. Okay, that's just my opinion. Old Disney, better at their movies, better at their shows, because in terms of quality, you have shows like Sunny with a Chance, That's a Raven, even Hannah Montana. I wasn't, like, a huge fan of Hannah Montana, but, like, you know what I mean, right? Like, the shows that really boomed Disney, that made Raven-Symoné, Demi Lovato, and Miley Cyrus stars. I mean, without Disney Channel, they wouldn't even be here. Like, those stars are huge. And nowadays, Disney doesn't make stars anymore. They pretty much just have actors come on. Like, they don't make them, like, I don't see Peyton List being the next big, huge star. Like, everyone knows Miley Cyrus. Everyone knows Selena Gomez. Everyone knows Demi Lovato. Like, they're so big because of Disney. And I don't feel that way anymore with some of the other new actors that they have. So it's just kind of like that, and they're not really, and there's no one really iconically funny. Like, Selena Gomez, great comedic actress. She is so good with comedic timing. Demi Lovato is just adorable. I mean, anything she's in with comedy. And then you have, like, Raven-Symoné, that just makes everybody laugh. Like, I laughed out loud at most of the episodes of That's So Raven because of Raven-Symoné, and how she approached scenes and how she approached the writing to the show, right? So it just makes sense. And now, these days, I don't really feel like it. I mean, I do laugh at Disney Channel series, but I don't do it like I used to do, right? Just kind of like a chuckle now. But getting off track a little bit, back to the movies. In terms of quality, Disney Channel movies were way better, in terms of quality back in the day. These days, you do get good quality. I mean, look at Descendants. That story was pretty great. And then, you think of Invisible Sister. It was loosely based on a book, but it still had its own moments, and it was really, it was good. And then you look at this movie, and it's just fun. It's a fun movie. But in terms of quality, it's not as great as old Disney Channel movies. But this movie it's a kind of a callback to those movies. Because when you think about it, Disney Channel movies like How to Build a Better Boy, I don't know, was it Read and Weep, another one, I can't think of another one. I guess Wendy Wu, kind of, not really. But when you think of movies like that, I can't really think of all of them right off the bat, that have Mean Girls in them. It's just Mean Girls in Disney Channel movies are so bad. Like Lady Rebel, I just hate Disney Channel movies with Mean Girls. When you think of ones that don't have them, like Lemonade Mouth, or Stuck in the Suburbs, or, I guess Minutemen. Minutemen wasn't that really great, but you know what I mean. That don't have Mean Girls in it, it makes the story so much better. And in this movie, there's no Mean Girl at all, and it makes the story so much better. Because to fill in the gaps with those parts, you need to put more fun, entertaining parts. And this movie is a callback to old Disney Channel movies that don't have Mean Girls, that have really good quality with the stories that they created themselves, with not having to put a Mean Girl in the movie, right? So I think that just in this movie, I'd say either Descendants or Adventures in Babysitting has the best original story since the old Disney Channel movies. So right, so I feel like it feels like an old Disney Channel movie, but it also has the qualities of a newer one. So that way both old fans of Disney Channel and new fans of Disney Channel can both like this movie at the same time. So that's what I think about that. So I just wanted to dive in that just a little bit. But yeah, so overall, some of my highlights, and I would think that all the actors did well, all the producers, the writers, everything in this whole movie is really fun, and it's enjoyable, and it feels like you're in with them in this adventure. So I love it. But now let's get to the highlights. The gala scene with Sophia Carson with the tiara stealing the money, that was really funny. The chef, Bobby, right? Wait, wasn't that his name? Bobby, right? Who was a kid chef in the kitchen. That was hilarious. You got the rap battle with Sophia Carson and Sabrina Carpenter was great. I loved it so much. Wild Side, that song is so good. I'm buying it. I am buying Wild Side. I actually saw the credits of the movie, and Sabrina Carpenter was one of the people who wrote the song. Like, she actually wrote it as well. So that just proves how much Sabrina Carpenter really cares about this movie. And I will probably end up purchasing that song because it is kind of catchy. I'm living on the wild side, wild side. I'm dancing. But Sabrina Carpenter sings it better. But anyway, yeah, it's such a good catchy song, so I'm probably going to get it too. So those are just some of the highlights in the movie. Again, anything with Sabrina Carpenter and Sophia Carson in their scenes, like having their screen time, is also a really great, it just got really dark, also is a highlight as well. So overall, should you watch this movie? Yes, you should watch this movie. Is it enjoyable? Is it fun? Yes, it's so fun, so enjoyable, it's great. I would actually probably even give it a 8.5 out of 10, just because Zach and the Pawn Shop guys were kind of irrelevant and did bring down the film a little bit. And then also, there were times where I wanted the kids to have more screen time. There were times where I wanted the parents to have a little bit more or a little less. And there were times that I wanted Sophia Carson and Sabrina Carpenter to have a little less. So it was, there are just times where you want them to have more screen time, but then there's also times where you don't want them to and you want somebody else to. It needs more time. Disney Channel movies, especially these days, Disney Channel movies need more time. And I feel like if they were 2 hours long, they would have more success. But Disney Channel mostly has really younger viewers, and they really don't want to sit there for like 2 hours, right? So I guess that makes sense as well. But that's my review for Adventures in Babysitting. It's a great movie. If you guys have someone, a friend or somebody that hasn't seen it yet, don't forget to tell them to go watch it this Friday and come back to my review and share this video as well with them, because I think they'll like my review and what I had to say about the movie and old Disney and the new Disney debate and all that jazz. But other than that, comment down below, what do you guys think of the movie? Did you love it? Do you hate it? What did you want from it? And did you guys think that it did justice to old Disney like I did? Links up there to my other movie reviews, links down there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and gaming channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Sabrina Carpenter is Jenny.
12 credits, 200 hours of community service.
A girl with a formula for success.
I skipped the 8th grade and now I'm on track for early college admission.
But when a babysitting gig goes wrong...
Babysitting rule number 1, never take your eyes off the kids.
The problems start to multiply. Sabrina Carpenter.
Zach.
Ask her out. Ask him out.
Stars in the 100th Disney Channel original movie, Adventures in Babysitting. Premieres Friday, June 24th.